Welcome to One More Day. I'm Sophia Pilot into the Universal Chinese. Let's continue exploring contemporary Chinese expressions and been doing this over 4 years every last month of the year. Well, in recent years, okay, I've been dedicating to the newest expressions in Chinese because language is a living thing. And things like characters, expressions come and go, but some stay. So the last month is like the newest creation by language users, popularized, right? And popular enough for me to talk about it here before they may or may not disappear in history. All right, so today's expression is 偷感. Okay, this is so new that this is only came to me when I preparing for this. So that's probably 松弛感. I heard it on some talk shows. But 偷感, I don't know about this until I start to looking at what are the new expressions and I intentionally pair them together because this got there's a feel. Um, Chinese have been, I guess, not allowed culturally, pressured, constrained, formed, not encouraged, at least, to feel much. We don't own and even less express our personal feeling. Personal story. My extended family in China, okay. Somebody recently celebrated 70th birthday. So 70 milestone celebrated on WeChat. People congratulates her and her husband wrote a poem about her to praise her, all the dedication, sacrifice she made for the family. Well, okay, I commented, how many of us in our 70th birthday are going to receive such a special gift, a poem by the husband? Okay, conditions didn't say, but we know that's really not a norm at all. Chinese are not comfortable expressing our feelings. I mean, let alone, I guess, put it in a poem format, kind of distance us from the thing we say. So we kind of package our message into a poetry. So it seems like more like high eyebrow act instead of like just express your raw feeling, right? Your gratitude as a husband to your wife for sticking out with you for however many decades. They probably celebrated, I don't know, almost close to 50 years. So my point is Chinese only in recent years start to own up to our feelings. And in talk shows such or social media, people start to use the word 感 a lot. We 感, use 感. Okay, can you tell it's two different 感? It sounds the same, two different characters. 感, we dare to talk about feel. Okay, this feel. Yesterday we talked about 松弛感, right? Loose feel. Okay, it's a counter to this oppressive sense that we have to work hard, have to eat, kind of embrace the burnout, to normalize burnout culture. So 松弛感 is a counter. So today's expression, still feel. What exactly does that mean? Okay, my entry point for that is it's common universal human psychology that we have a feeling of inferior complex, or in some cases it's called imposter syndrome. Okay, when I go to grad school in America, people prep your mentality to say so many of us suffer from our imposter syndrome. It's almost like a whole entry or introduction is about this commonly seen psychological barrier that we don't believe in ourselves and we feel we don't belong there. Okay, this toga was almost like a derived psychology from that. because we don't feel we don't belong or we don't deserve or we shouldn't be here, we kind of or we try to shoot, okay, shoot for the moon and end up in stars. Okay, this is one recent things I learned. But we don't even dare to tell people what we're shooting for. If we have a big dreams, we don't dare to tell your friends, because what if you fail? You almost like publicly set up yourself for this psychological stress. So what people do instead is to hunt below the radar. They quietly prepare for something, some big dedicated work without telling anybody. So they do it in a stealth way so that if they end up triumphantly, then people know. But before then, they do this still feel. Okay, the still feel is the viewer, your friends, like your surroundings, detect that you're doing something there, but it's not public. So you have this still feel about you. Okay, that's the full context. Still, as you may notice, simplified traditional and 2000 years ago, the three versions almost a straight line lineage, except 2000 years ago, the left side here, instead of a generic human figure, which looks like this, and simplified Chinese make it into this, it's profile view of a human, right? Instead of that, we use the female figure in there. And this today we use it as a generic female, but in ancient times, this is unmarried woman before marriage, therefore before motherhood. That's I guess, young girl, somebody's daughter's life stage. And that is the switch in between. Okay, what happened? Okay, this total meaning still is a negative term. An ancient version attribute that still to the girl, not generic human. Okay, I'm just stopping right there. That's the observation. I'm not sure what's the intention, but I guess this witch hunting was universal, right? So some bad behavior, some negative connotations oftentimes is attributed, associated with women because, okay, language was used mostly by men. They don't want to self-criticize. They point to the other gender who most likely doesn't use the language, therefore probably don't get hurt or even aware of the situation. But 2000 years later, we examine that and kind of point out that embedded bias right there and this injustice right there, this gender thing right there. Okay, the right side means boat making. Boat making is made of the boat, of course, on this left side. It's kind of looking like this, kind of a two-seater kayak looking thing. The top is this triangle imagery. It means gathering. And in this context, I almost want to view it as the bow of the boat. So it's kind of pointy, right? It go with the least resistance through water. And then the right side here, it almost like a reverse the look of this. It could be a stylized, we couldn't tell. But we can interpret it in today's lingo, like it was abstracted as this thing. And I know this thing once it was abstracted from the knife or the axe imagery. So ancient boat making technology got involved lots of craftsmanship because it was not industrialization age, far from. It's handcrafted. Everything in ancient times is handcrafted. And so this cutting or knifing or carving out of big piece of wood and kind of piece them together so it didn't sink. That's the whole, I guess, a simple version of what boat making was. So boat making somehow plus a married girl becomes steel. We explained the unmarried girl part. But what about a boat? My understanding is it could be boat making was a specialized technology in ancient times. And when you build a boat, it could be that you try to escape somewhere, or you can steal from the boat making process something out of it. I don't know. That's a big black hole in the language development. Why boat making is associated with stealing. Okay, 敢 review. We have the heart symbol at the bottom, which Chinese habitually use heart symbol to associate with our feelings, our emotional processing, most likely. Occasionally, we also use it as cognitive processing. So it's both ways. It's not just heart. Like today's English, we use heart most likely, emotional processing. Okay, the top is big axe cutting somebody's head off. We didn't draw the head, but we draw a mouse symbol over there. One mouse symbol symbolize one person. So Chinese use mouse count, not head count. I mean, interesting, right? We abstract this human function into eating and speaking. So use the mouse to represent the whole person. And besides this boxy with two handle thing, mouse symbol, the rest of them is the abstraction of that ancient axe. So this beheading associated with one, the taste of salt, probably because the blood tastes salty. Two, it means complete, thoroughly, all. So English, we have multiple words, right, to mean kind of similar with nuance difference, but Chinese just use one character to cover them all. And this means all of it. So my interpretation of what feel is this all heart, like all of you heartily feel something. So feel with every nerves, sensories, emotions invested in, like a fully immersively feel something. All right, so still feel. It's kind of equivalent to today Gen Z's lingo of low key. It's like you want to, for example, celebrate yourself, you just, or low key brag, right? You don't want to be annoying to people. I guess oftentimes we have to downplay ourselves. And that's, yeah, toga. Thank you for your time. See you another day.